What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, this is going to be part 2 of our video series on my creative testing strategy that I use in all my ad accounts. So if you didn't watch the first video, please watch that one before we dive into this video. And on this video, I want to cover the customer journey. Now, most people kind of briefly or vaguely understand what I'm talking about here. And I always talk ad nauseum about the customer journey, whether it be the first time impression, them introducing themselves to your brand through the awareness phase, them becoming a customer, and then them being retained and increasing the lifetime value of the customer. I speak on this ad nauseum because it is super important for you to understand that your goal is not to make money on a brand new customer. You want to break even on that purchase, prove and show value to your customer in your product, and then get them to come back and buy again in the future. And the way you do that is by niching down your product selection. Meaning, if I just sold someone a golden retriever t-shirt, and then my next product I developed, took me 3 months to launch, was a Boston Terrier necklace, I'm gonna have a pretty low launch date, low revenue launch date, because again, my previous customer cannot buy this new item because they own golden retrievers and you're selling a Boston Terrier necklace, okay? So super important to develop products for your avatar within your niche. It's a good accompanying product to whatever it was they bought in the past, okay? So when it talks about customer journey, what do we mean? Well, whether that first time impression is through an influencer, through a billboard, through the radio, through a Facebook ad, Instagram ad, TikTok, maybe their friend was wearing the t-shirt and they got a compliment on it. Hey, where did you get that from? That's your first time impression, whether it be from a paid channel, an influencer shout out channel, maybe you paid someone to promote your new product to their email list, something along those lines. And all the behavior patterns of someone who gets a referral from a friend through or versus someone who sees an ad on Facebook are completely different. As an example, some stores do $20,000 to $30,000 a month organically, or just doing stuff by posting on Pinterest or posting organically on TikTok and Instagram. And you're going to see a much higher conversion rate on those stores until they really beef up their ad spend. Okay. So it's to understand and isolate how these different customer avatars and how these different touch points will dictate how that audience or customer behaves on your website. Okay, so the more money you spend on ads, the more likely your conversion rate is going to go down if you've been relying on organic traffic from the start. So today's video is again part 2 of creative testing, and it's about knowing your numbers, knowing your metrics. And then I'll have another video on what to do with your winning creatives. But how do we figure out what creative is a winner, right? If you have sales, you can look at things like ROAS. I'd rather you look at your cost per result, your cost per purchase, or your NCAC, your new customer acquisition cost. If you don't have any sales at all, maybe we should focus on our click-through rates and our CPMs. CPM really goes up and down depending on what niche you're in. Example, if I'm selling plastic surgery, I'm going to be in a way more competitive market, paying a lot more for those impressions than someone selling just apparel or some sort of physical product that isn't related to fat loss or dentistry or some higher ticket stuff. Okay, so when it comes to the CPM, like some ads Facebook doesn't like. And what do they do when they don't like your ad? Well, they charge you more to show that ad to people. Okay, if you're not in a competitive niche and you're getting $35 CPMs trying to sell a sweatshirt, maybe it's because you're using some sort of language or something in the image or creative that you have isn't resonating well with the algorithm, and they don't want to show that content to their people. They'll still show it to the audience, right? But they're going to charge you a lot more, a premium for it, if you will. All right. So when it comes to customer journey, I want you to set up your Facebook Ads Manager dashboard the way I'm going to do it in this video. So without further ado, let's dive on into it. We're already 4 minutes in. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it's super important to understand the customer journey and how we can find the bottlenecks. So what I want you to do is in Ads Manager, I want you to go to your columns, and then we're going to set this up. Customize columns. We can go ahead and delete everything here for now. I will link my column setup down below this video, or just kind of list it out there. So if you want to pause the screen and follow along, that's fine. But essentially, we want to list out our columns, right? Our dashboard in a way that shows the clear customer journey. Okay, so important metrics in the front, and then the customer journey and the tail end. Now, I use Triple Whale for all of my attribution needs. If you're still using Facebook and you can't afford Triple Whale yet, that's fine. Set up your dashboard like this in Facebook. If you are using Triple Whale or some other reporting platform, Wicked Reports, Hyros, Segmetrics, set up your dashboard similar to this. So again, you're following through the entire customer journey. All right. So the first one is going to be the ad, which is the ad name. Then we want to do delivery just so we can see what is running. Then we're going to do schedule so we know what time we started the ads. Let's do quality ranking. Then we'll go into budget. Then we'll go into results. And these results are going to be based on whatever your campaign objective is. Then we're going to do cost per result. Total amount spent. Reach, which is how many people you reached. Impressions is overall impressions on devices. Reach is sometimes lower than impressions because they showed the same ad to the same person a couple of times. All right. Impressions. Then we got frequency. Frequency is what I just mentioned, right? Like how much on average did one person see your ad? Okay. And if you hover over this, it'll tell you exactly what it means. The average number of times each account's center account saw your ad. All right. Then we're going to go into CPMs. I can't type today as usual. Let's go into link clicks. Let's just do broad link clicks for now. Then we're going to do cost per link click. And then we'll do click-through rate. Okay, I like to do the second one, link click-through rate. So it's just the links, not just all the clicks. If you have a carousel or something like that, it could artificially inflate your click-through rate. So link click-through rate. And then let's go into the uniques, okay? So uniques is going to be individuals. So we're going to do unique link clicks. Actually, let's do unique outbound clicks, unique click-through rate, and then outbound cost per unique outbound click. Now, outbound clicks when someone clicks on the link on the actual ad, so shop now, for example, as opposed to clicking on your profile or clicking through your carousel or clicking a link in the actual ad copy or the primary text. Outbound link clicks are the ones that go from shop now directly to your website, okay? And then once they click on your link, actually, let's do the rankings here first. Engagement rate ranking and conversion rate ranking. It's just good to know how Facebook views your ad. If it's super low, it doesn't like your creative. If it's high, it means it's a good ad for engagement and conversions as well. Okay, those are built into Facebook. So once we get through the on-platform metrics, like we just discussed here, we've all outlined. Now it's going into our website metrics. Okay, which is going to be landing page view. So we're going to do total, and then we're going to do cost. All right. After they land on a landing page, they can view content. If they view multiple pages, that's a content view. All right. Once they view content, we're hoping they add to cart, right? So total and then cost. We used to be able to use unique costs and unique totals, but since the iOS update, it's kind of, they don't report that data anymore. All right. Then once they add to cart, we're going to initiate checkout. So checkout's initiated. Total cost. And then we're going to do purchase. So we're going to do total cost, value, and then our ROAS at the very end. And then the one last one I'd like to plug in here is our AOV. So this is just a simple custom metric. You can see here, it is your purchase conversion value divided by purchases equals your AOV. So you can make this by clicking on create custom metric, changing this to percentage, naming it AOV, and then just doing value or purchase conversions value, then type in divided by, and then purchases. All right, that's going to give you your AOV custom metric. Just say create metric and select it like I did right here. And last but not least, we're going to scroll all the way down and then uncheck all these doubles. So uncheck this. A little boring session here, but hopefully you're getting some value out of this. All right, then we're going to hit apply. Actually, let's save it as a preset first, and we're going to type it as Grow House dashboard, or just dashboard, whatever you want to see there. All right, cool. So now we see, actually, when I was running this test, I didn't want these ads to launch, but they did launch. As you see, I spent some money here. And now we see the reach. So this is individual that saw the ad. A total of 901 impressions. So if you divide this number by this number, you're going to get your frequency. All right, here's our CPMs here, pretty high. Seeing as the creative is what it is and the link it's going to is a dead website, it's going to be a high CPM. Then we have our link clicks, our cost per link click, our click-through rate. Then we go into our unique numbers here. So you see our unique outbound clicks, right? Our engagement rankings didn't populate because we weren't running enough traffic. Didn't let these run long enough. Then we go into our landing page views, content views, add to cart, checkouts, purchases, and then our conversion value, our ROAS, and then our AOV. Okay, so this is the entire customer journey from the time they click on an ad to they land on the website, they view some content, shop around, add a cart, initiate checkout, and purchase. Now, you're going to see bottlenecks in each one of these areas depending on how your store's set up. Are you sending them to the home page? Well, if they go to the home page, they have to then go to a collection page. From collection page, go to a product page, and then there's an add to cart button. Okay. So if your bottleneck is add to cart ratio, try sending them directly to your number one selling item, and sending the traffic directly to that page. So the add to cart button is literally the first thing they see on their screen, right below the image carousel, right? The product photos. So that's what I highly suggest doing for all my products. If you're in the testing phase trying to figure out what works, you can send them to a collection page, but you will see a lower add to cart ratio because most people won't make it off the collection page. They'll have the paradox of choice. They don't know which one to buy and then not buy any at all. All right. So these are super important to understand your customer journey. So please set up your dashboard this way. If we go over to Triple Whale, you can see that I have a very similar dashboard here. And these are ones that actually ran from a creative testing round. Okay. So I'm targeting two different broad audiences. One is just straight broad, 25 to 44 female. The other one is married, 25 to 44. All right. So we see here our ROAS, purchases, CPM clicks, outbound clicks, cost per click, our click-through rate. This is all Facebook data here. And then this is going into the pixel data. So how many sessions, unique visitors, cost per view, how many added carts, how much did an added cart cost us, what's our CPA, what's our overall conversion rate, and then our AOV over here. All right, so this is the dashboard I have. Now, the next step is how do we identify a winner? So in this account, we can identify the winner by the overall ROAS, okay? But really, I'm looking at the cost per, the CPA, okay? The cost per acquisition. My benchmark is $25, and you'll see here, this one's at 30, but because it's a higher price item, I still have a nice healthy AOV, with this AOV being a 144. So it costs me more to acquire this customer, but they spend an extra $12 compared to this top one here at 133. All right. So what I want you to do now is we're going to dive on into the ads manager. So when you find your winning products, the first thing I want you to do, like if you have a positive ROAS, so if you're shooting somewhere between a 3x and above, that can go into a scaling campaign, which is the next step. So once we understand our metrics, okay, we can bring that into a scaling campaign. If you got a really good click-through rate in your ad account, right? You had a really great click-through rate, great being above a 1.25, 1.5. My benchmark is no lower than 1% click-through rate, okay? But if you do have a really good click-through rate and you're sending traffic to your website for less than a couple of bucks, like we see here, then the problem is most likely on where you're sending the traffic to. So if you're sending the traffic to the home page or a collection page, I want you to send them directly to the product page of what they're seeing in that ad, okay? Very important. Sometimes you have a creative out there and the shirt says, like this shirt, for example. If I saw this in an ad and you took me to the homepage, I would then have to search for this shirt and I'd probably type in triangle. But if it wasn't labeled triangle, instead it was pyramid, I wouldn't be able to find this shirt. I'm going to bounce off your website before making a purchase. Does that make sense? Okay, so when you have no sales, I would suggest doing some more work on your product pages. If you're sending traffic there, if you're not sending traffic to the product page, I suggest starting to do that. So take your top click-through rate ads, go back to your sandbox, your builder campaign, duplicate the ad out, and then change where you're sending that traffic to, and then see if you get better performance out of that ad or if you're getting more sales from that ad, now driving that traffic directly to the product page. All right. So when you have your two winning ads, let's just say I have ad 4 here and ad 5 are our winners. Okay. What we want to do is we want to copy these. So Control C. And since we're copying them from the actual active ad sets, we don't need to worry about changing over the post ID. These already have the post ID selection built into them. So what I want you to do now is we're going to create a new campaign. This is going to be a sales campaign. Okay. We're going to name this one top of funnel. All right. This is a CBO. And then whatever audience it is that you're targeting. So in this case, I believe it was broad, and this was male, 35 and up. And then what I want you to do is type in the date you're going to start this. So again, today's March 22nd, but we're going to schedule these for the next day. So we're just going to do 03.23/2023. Now for the ad set, we can actually skip the ad set and we're going to skip this. So we're going to skip the ad set, continue, manual sales campaign. All right, cool. So now we have an empty campaign. So we're going to go back into this creative testing campaign. We're going to pick our 2 winners, which was 4 and 5. Copy those ad sets over, and we're going to paste them in this CBO. And now the same rule applies here because we have 2 ads in our creative testing ad sets. We want to have 2 ads in each one of these CBOs, and we have 2 winning ads. If you have 1 winning ad, you can run it just like this. Okay, so 2 ad sets, 2 identical ads in the ad set. If you have 2 winning creatives from testing, what I want you to do is add it to the other ad set. So I'm going to add 4 to 5 here, and then I'm going to add 5 to 4. Cool. And then we'll just delete the duplicate numbers there. All right, cool. So now we have 2 ad sets, and you're going to want to make sure yours are turned on, right? Want to make sure our ads are all turned on as well. Perfect. So double check to make sure that your ad is still using existing post. We want to make sure that our URL parameters are still in here. And then all this looks good to go. Okay. So last step is to edit the ad set. Now we want these to start again tomorrow. Oh, sorry. Back to the ad set or campaign level. We're going to want to turn on Advantage Campaign Budget, which was formerly known as CBO. I still call it CBO. We're going to turn this on. And now when we go to the ad set level, you'll see here that all we can adjust is the actual start date. So we're going to start these tomorrow at 4 a.m. Okay. Now, as far as the budget goes, in order to get out of the learning phase, Facebook needs to get 50 purchases in the first 7 days of a launch. Okay. So if I get 7 purchases or 50 purchases from day 5 days from now until 10 days from now, it doesn't matter. We need to get 50 sales in the first 7 days. So how do we do this? Well, we go back to our data. So let's just say, as an example, we wanted to scale this top one right here. This is our winning creative. We go over to the CPA and it's $24.57. So we're going to round this CPA up to $25. So then we just go over to Google or a calendar and we're going to do 25 times 50. Get through this robot nonsense. That's $1,250. Then we're going to divide this by 7. So in order to get 50 purchases in 7 days of that current cost per acquisition, $25, we need to spend $1,250. In order to do that over a 7-day period, we need to spend $178 a day. Now, I like to do is always round this up. So if it's $178, I'm going to round this up to $200. And then we'll go back into Ads Manager, and we're going to set this budget at $200. That'll give you the best probability that you will get these out of the learning phase. Now, it's not a big deal if you don't get out of the learning phase. Generally speaking, I still have CBO campaigns been running for 7 or 8 months that still are not out of learning, but they're still providing great results in terms of ROAS and cost per acquisition. Okay, so that is a simple next step of taking a winning creative from creative testing and then scaling it up into a CBO. All right. So again, we have a brand new CBO campaign using purchase conversion objective. We have our Advantage budget optimization turned on. All right. Our daily budget is going to be our current cost per acquisition times 50 divided by 7. Round it up a little bit to give it a little extra breathing room. All right. 2 ad sets that are identical as far as who we're targeting, and then 2 ads in each ad sets if you have 2 winning creatives. If you only have 1 winning creative, you can go ahead and start this with just this identical ads, so that you would have, like, let's say it was only 1,005, you would have 1,005, 1,005, and then 1,005 and 1,005 here. All right. And then we're going to start this for tomorrow and hit publish, and you're good to go. All right. Now, the second phase of creative testing is really testing all the variables on the design. Okay. So when you see a creative, right? We have our primary text up top here, which is our copy. We have our actual creative down here, and then we have our headline. So one thing that you can do to test this out at a low budget to see if we can increase the click-through rate, because that's all we're trying to do here with our creative testing, as far as breaking down each dynamic element of the creative, is to get a better click-through rate. Better click-through rates generally lead to lower cost per clicks, and if it's lower cost per click, it'll be lower added carts, lower initiate checkout, and lower cost per purchase. Okay, we can drive those costs down by testing out all the different elements of this one creative. So another type of, I would say, campaign objective you can run is traffic. Okay, so what you want to do here is, let's go back into the greenhouse, and let's just say, what did we say? This was our winning ad, 1004. So we're going to duplicate this out. We're going to duplicate it 3 times. All right. We're going to go ahead and get rid of the copy slug on the back. Now these other ones are appearing in this campaign because they're still in draft mode, and if something is in draft, it'll be seen across the entire account no matter where you're at. So don't worry about these. If you feel like you have ads in the wrong place, you don't. It's just Facebook is showing you these ads because they're in draft mode. All right. Now we're going to click on edit, top right, edit each ad set. Now we're going to remove the post IDs, so we can actually do that up top here. And these will be our different variations. Okay. So let me refresh my screen. It's bugging out over here. Edit each ad set. That didn't save. Okay, so once we remove that, now we're going to do 0.01, 0.02, 0.03. So this creative itself, right? It was the 1004. We're going to make 3 variations of it. So it's still technically ad 1004, but now we're going to make some iterations to it, okay? So what I like to do here, once we save this to draft, on the top one, actually, let me do this easier. So on this one, again, you want to put your body and headline in here, but we can change. For this one, we'll just do a primary text change. For this one, we'll do a headline change. And for this one, we'll do a brand new primary and headline. Okay. So in this creative, we're only changing the primary text. We're keeping the creative the same, and we're keeping the headline the same. In this test down here, 0.02, this one we're only changing the headline. We're keeping the same primary text and the same creative. And then the third one, we're doing a completely new primary and a completely new headline change. Okay. Now, you can run these with a purchase conversion objective like we did for regular creative testing if you have the budget to do so. But generally speaking, because we're optimizing for click-through rate here, we can run these as traffic campaigns, and we can do a whole lot of testing in a very short amount of time for very few dollars. Okay. So what we can do here is, once you go in here, so let's just save this to draft. I want you to go in and change all these accordingly. So this one will be a brand new primary text with a brand new headline. This one will be just the headline, and this one will be just the primary text. Once you save all these, right, once you publish these, you want to go back in and get your post IDs and put them up top here again, because we still want to run that, right? Now, as far as how you're going to run these in a campaign, let's just copy these. So let's just take these 3 just as an example. You're going to want to publish these and get the post IDs. But I don't want to make this video too long. So we're going to go into campaigns. We're going to do a new campaign. This time we're going to select traffic. We're going to name this one. This is still top of funnel. We're going to do traffic. And then we're going to do creative testing. All right. We can skip the ads for the ad set. Again, this is going to be broad, male, 35 plus, and hit continue. All right, we want to make sure that the Advantage campaign budget is turned off because we are running variable tests here. And then we're going to select this ad set. We're going to change the start date. We're going to bring these budgets way down, $5. Since this is a traffic campaign, you don't need to spend that much money. We'll start these tomorrow at 4 a.m. And we want to make sure that our audience is right. So we did male, 35 and up. We'll just change that real quick. Now, again, this is going to be dependent on what your avatar is, who your customer is. Don't just do male 35 up because that's what I'm doing. Whatever your customer base is, do this. And you can get this data from Google Analytics if you're not running that already. All right. Cool. Once this is all set up, we want to make sure our optimization for ad delivery is link clicks. Very important. All right. Then we're going to hit paste. It's not going to allow me to paste those ads because they're not published. But what I can do is, let's see. It's not letting me paste those ad sets. Okay, no worries. Let's just go in here and try to select this entire ad set. All right, well, that's not working anymore. So if it's not working for you, one thing you could do is just go in here, create a new ad. So let's just call this one 1004-01. If we duplicate, let's try this. Existing post. And then let's go over here and grab our post ID. Again, I'm not sure why this is not working anymore, but there's always a workaround. So we can just grab this post ID from here. Let's go back into creative testing. Our first ad, edit. Cool, there it is. So if you have the problem and you can't copy and paste it over, just create new ads here and then copy and paste over the post ID and then change your name to the same one from testing. Hopefully that isn't too confusing, but Facebook decided to give me problems and wasn't allowing me to copy ads and paste them directly from our grow house, greenhouse campaign over into this new campaign. So if that's a problem for you as well, you can always just enter in the post ID from the original ad with those variation changes and run those. Now these only need to run for 1 or 2 days, and all you're looking for is a big spike in click-through rate. So because this is a traffic campaign and these people are known to click on ads, you're generally, let's just say the data here was a 1.9, 1.8, our average is a 1.35. When you're running traffic campaigns, this same ad that has a 1.99 in a purchase objective campaign is going to have like a 5, 6, 7x click-through rate, right? 7% click-through rate. So what you're looking for is the one that stands out the most. If all the averages are like 6, 6.5, 7, and then one has like a 14% click-through rate, something is hot on that ad. So when you transfer it back into creative testing for a purchase conversion campaign objective, then you'll see it goes from like a 12.5, whatever, to like a 3.5 or even a 4%. So again, it's going to be higher, artificially inflated in traffic. You're going to have a naturally higher click-through rate. But when you put it back into a purchase conversion campaign, you'll see that this 1.99 with a few variable changes to either the headline or the primary text, you'll start seeing better performance, and that will translate over into the purchase conversion campaign as well. All right. So if you do have minimal budgets, you don't have a bunch of money to spend, you can run a traffic campaign, but I highly suggest running purchase conversion campaigns first. Once you prove a creative there, then you can go ahead and test all the different variables individually by doing with lower budgets while you're running a traffic campaign instead. All right. That is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out. Again, I'll link my my dashboard view down below this description. If you have any questions on what we discussed in today's video, please drop them in the comments below. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm very active and very engaged in the comments of the YouTube channel. I want to drive as much value to you as humanly possible to help you scale your store with no cost. I spent over $100,000 learning how to run Facebook ads. I've taken dozens of courses. And what you're seeing here is how I've pieced together information from different mentors of mine, different courses I've taken. And I really, anytime I hear something new, I test it out myself before I put it on this channel. So I'm only giving you advice and strategies on what I actually do in my own ad account, as well as my client ad accounts. And I have some really exciting news coming up later this week, maybe next week for YouTube. Starting a brand new business from zero in 2023. So if you want to follow along, please subscribe to the channel, and you can see me build a business from scratch, from the ground up. New Shopify store, new email flows, new ads, new product testing, the whole nine. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more about that. And I hope you have a great day. Keep on testing. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.